going to show you how to use the Employee Goal Tools feature of Performance Pro. I'm currently logged in as a supervisor named Sad Huey Lewis, and this is what you would see in a supervisor role. I'm going to go to the Employee Goal Tools section on the left, and you can see that we have current goals, future goals, and something called My Library. Supervisors and administrators are the only ones who will see this My Library tab. Your employees will not have this tab unless they have employees that report to them. So the first thing I'm going to do is select one of my employees, and I'm going to select Gail Bellwater. And I'm now looking at Gail's current goals. She has 2 goals that I've already assigned to her. And if I go to the My Library section, you can see that we have shared goals, which the organization may have shared with you, and then also My Goals, which are goals that you may have created yourself and put in your library, and then All Goals, which is a combination of the 2. So let's see what kind of goals we have here in the My Library section. I can see that we have 3 goals: development, program expansion, and strategy and government affairs, that were assigned by the organization in a waterfall format. So the idea is that you would take these goals and then assign them to your employees and edit them slightly so that you can show how your employees are going to help achieve this overall organizational goal. Let's click the first one, development. And notice that everything is grayed out. In other words, you can't edit a goal that's been shared with you by the organization. So what you'll need to do is click the green duplicate button, and that makes a copy of any goal that was shared with you, and then just give it a slightly different name. I'm going to call this Development-Team A, or however you want to describe your team or your group. And then you can go ahead and change the description below to make it more meaningful for your part of the organization. Set a default weight. This weight can, however, be changed at the individual's current goals. Set a due date, which will probably be September 30th, 2017 in most cases. Check any of these other features that you want to lock. Typically want to lock the name, possibly the description, if you don't think it needs to change for each individual in your group. You can lock any action steps that you've created. You can lock the weight, the due date, and prevent the employee altogether from making changes by locking to employee. To add an action step, click the green Add button. Add your action step. Give it a good description, a good smart description. I'm just going to put the word test and give it a due date. This might be due maybe end of first quarter. Save it, and then just keep adding as many action steps as you'd like. And then you can link it to your company strategies. The company has 4 strategies. If you'd like to link it to strategies, just click the green Add button, the General button, and then check as many of these that will apply to that goal. Click the Select, click your blue Save button, and you now have a version of the overall organization development goal, but more specific to your team. And then finally, from My Library, you can assign goals to your employees. So just click the Assign to Employees green Add button. All your employees will appear here in a list. Just check those that apply. Make sure you're applying it to the correct period. This would be your current period, which is October 1st, 2016 through September 30th, 2017. If you want to copy the goal action steps, check the box. Click your green select button and save. Now, I'm looking at my employee Gail Bellwater. If I go to her current goals, I should now have the development goal, and I do, and you'll notice the building blocks. That signifies that that goal is linked to company strategies. Now, the Raise Funds goal and the Find 10 New Donors goals are not currently in your My Library tab. But we do have another way of assigning goals to your employees. So let's take the Raise Funds goal. And if you don't necessarily want to have this goal in your library, you can click the green admin button and assign it to employees that way. And just, again, click the right period, copy any action steps, select, and save. And then that would send that goal to your other employees without actually adding it to your My Library tab. If you do want to add a goal to your My Library tab, first create it for one of your employees, then click the goal. This is just telling me I forgot to save my changes, so I'm going to click Save. Okay, now I'm going to click this other goal that's not currently in the My Library section, but I'd like to have it there so that I could distribute it. So just select your goal and click Add to Library. And there it is. So now in My Library I have my 3 goals that were shared from the organization, plus my version of the development goal that was shared with me, plus the Find 10 New Donors goal. One other thing I'd like to tell you about the My Library section. If I take the program expansion goal, for example, and I duplicate it just to summarize again, because I can't actually change a goal that was shared by the organization. So let's call this Program Expansion Team A, or whatever name you'd like to give your group. Something you'll notice here is in the description you'll notice these greater than, BR, less than symbol. That is a line break, and if you keep those in the description, it'll look better when you print your appraisals or when you're looking at them on the screen. It actually does insert a line break, versus without those, your number 1 and 2 and 3 would be strung together, and it just doesn't look as nice. But what I want to point out is that once you've created a goal and once you've assigned it to employees, and then if you decide to come into your library and make a change to it, it will not automatically update any employees to whom it's already been assigned. So unfortunately, once it's been assigned, you can't really change it from the My Library section. So what you would have to do is you would have to go to your employees' current goals, and edit them individually at that point. You'll also notice a copy button next to your goals. Since I'm in the current section, if I click the copy button, it will automatically copy that goal to my future goals. There's the Raise Funds. And if I'm in the future goals and I want to copy something back to my current goals, the same thing applies. So whichever period you're working in, when you press the copy button, it will automatically copy it to the opposite period. Employees can currently add their own goals, but as the manager, as the supervisor, it'll be your responsibility to make sure that their goals do add up to 100% when all is said and done. So just to review, as a supervisor, you're going to have the My Library tab. You should see some goals that have been shared with you and some goals that you've created yourself. And from either of these groups of goals, you can select a goal and change any verbiage, change any of the settings, add action steps, link it to strategies, and finally assign to other employees. And then just make sure that you do press the blue Save button when you're done. Thank you. I do want to show you a couple of reports. So under the Reports section, Goal, some helpful reports will be the No Goals report. This is a quick way for you to check your employees to see who may or may not have any goals. And I'm going to select the current period and then click the Next button. On this first simple filter screen, I generally keep this as All and then click Next. All of your employees will appear. In our example, we only have one, but you can click the green double arrow and that would move all your employees over. Click Next. You can sort by position if you like, or you can just not have a sort, but let's sort by position. Next. And then check any column headers that you'd like to appear on your report. And done. Now since we only have one employee, I'm not getting any results because my employee does have some goals. But for those of you that have a larger organization, this report will be a good one to run. And you can then either print it, save it as a PDF, or export it to a CSV file that you could then open in Excel. One other goal report you might want to look at would be the Simple Goal Report. And I won't run through all of these, but they all operate the same way where you just answer a question and click the Next button. This will describe the goals that each of your employees have. The detailed version of that will just display any action steps and any specifics, more specific information about it. And finally, another one might be the total weights. If you want to know if all of your employees are adding up to 100%, this is a useful report. Thank you.